Greetings, hello, and how is everybody doing today? My name is Julia Okujax, and on behalf of Julia Jax Consulting, I welcome all of you on IG and Facebook to this edition of Unplugged. For all of February, we're exploring the diverse and very rich world of not for profit organizations. This is really a very much overlooked sector, and there's been a lot of misinformation and myths, or maybe seemingly lack of information, simply lack of information that exists around this sector. So what we're doing throughout this month is to look at different types of not-for-profit organizations and try and demystify, bring more information, and see that not-for-profits are also businesses and they're also brands, just as there are different kinds of growing, small, medium, and big blue chip corporate brands, so are there also different types of growing and big not-for-profit brands. And it really is my extreme pleasure to visit as many of them, bring them to you, and see what you may be interested in if you are interested in that not-for-profit sector. So we'll hear them share their passion with you and their learnings from you, with you as well. So thank you very much for joining. Hi, Yasin. Hi, sis. Ibim. Great to see you. Happy New Year, sis. Great to see you. Great to see you. Yasin, thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And thank you to everybody who will join us later or listen to the replay. And thank you for staying with us over a long time. Now, I'll say it quickly now. Afyong, hi, welcome. If there's any particular industry you'd like us to explore, let us know in the comments, or maybe as the millennials say, slide into our messages. I think that's how you say it, just slide in and let us know. Meanwhile, please share the link of this broadcast and set your notifications and keep joining us and engaging with us. It's what you tell us that makes us know where to go, where we can be of better help to you. So we really appreciate you. We appreciate your feedback. We appreciate your comments. So thank you very much. So last week we spoke with Beauty Kumisine. I hope I haven't gotten her name wrong again. She'll kill me. I'm so sorry. Of the Blazing Hearts Autism Center, and she gave us a lot of insights into the world of neurodiversity and how her and her team work with parents and children who need extra special love and care. And we will post flyers of the Blazing Hearts April breakfast event from March. So look out for those flyers. Those who would like to attend or support in any way can do so, But today we are going to the world of children, women, school uniforms, fashion design. What do all these things have in common? You'll find out very soon. We are going to talk to another brave, tender-hearted person who has decided to take on the challenges of children of indigent parents and disenfranchised women. So join me to welcome Atim of the Atycare initiative, who is joining us all the way from my city, Calabar. Welcome, Atim.
Morning, Ma.
Good morning. As I'm going to invite you onto Instagram, so you can also join us. I've sent you the invitation. Fantastic. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me adjust it so people can see your face a bit better on Instagram. Okay, I think we're good now. So, Ato, I'd like to, it gives me great pleasure to really, really talk to you, not only because you're young or you're a female, but also because you're from my city, Calabar. Let me introduce Atom to you. Atim is the executive director of Atycare initiative. I'm going to type that here in the comments. I'll type it when I'm through. A creative thinker, a patriotic, self-starting, vibrant youth with a track record in entrepreneurship, research, project management, and public speaking. I think she also just completed a mini MBA. I'm correct, right, Atom?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Atom is a development professional experienced in psychosocial counseling, sustainable development, and rights based approaches to social initiatives. This Calabar based social worker is an effective leader with self governing ideals, which have facilitated effective team building, steady capacity enhancement of colleagues, and efficient operations of her business. Welcome, welcome, Atom. And hi, Elijah. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining us today. So, Atom, that is the very abridged version of your story. Welcome to Unplugged. And
Thank you, ma'am.
we will ask you, first of all, you are a trained social worker, social welfare professional. You could have taken any path in life, but you chose to put yourself out to take care of children of indigent parents and also women who are disenfranchised. Why? Why did you choose to take this path?
Okay, I decided to choose the path because naturally, I'm a lover of children. So I didn't discover that I had a purpose working with children. I discovered that during my process in school as a social worker, I went for a field work practice and I was sent to Ministry of Women Affairs. I was sent to Child Development Unit. Then during my field work practice, I was still sent to orphanage home, still working with children. But I didn't discover it was my ministry, it was my purpose that God was still guiding me through this path. Until the first time I worked with an organization, and it was so amazing. The impact was so marvelous for me. I had what they call peace of mind. I had this joy. And sometimes in 2018 August, we went to meet a client, an investor, to talk about a project we are about doing. And we went with three different people, and those three people were not in my own team of work or what I was doing. And I remember I told them, I am, I told it's two people explain what they were doing. And I also explained to the man, and I told the man, I'm a fashion designer and I want to run an NGO to use the fashion and the NGO to give back to the society. And in his words, the man told me I should go back to my house and think of what I want in life. I don't know what I'm looking for in life. And in less than 1 month from that particular night, the organization gave birth. The organization gave birth, it came as a vision actually. I went for a project, and that project was organized by Back Charles Gary. I was a volunteer myself, my resources, my time. I joined in sewing school uniform. I was so happy. You could feel the joy. You see in my picture without even seeing what I'm doing. You will see the picture, you could see the joy. I don't only make uniforms on that day, I joined in making a parent's hair. I know I made a parent's hair that very day. And I also joined in doing adherence counseling on HIV and malaria, and I was doing testing. So at the end of that event, I was so happy. I was just like I won a jackpot that very evening. That it was a Friday, I can't forget, 14 February 2018. And the next day I was rushing back to Calabar because I had a project with street children in Calabar. So I was to do a join for a medical outreach, which was organized by my mentor. And inside the keke, I was talking with other young girls that came for the project from a boy state. And while I was talking to them, the impact I was creating was amazing. So they really heard what I was saying, and the calmness in them was so overwhelming. And the next thing I heard was I heard the Holy Spirit telling me, if you can do it in this town, you can do it in your town. And that was how the vision started. So the vision started 2018, September 15th. And it has been an amazing experience since then.
That's incredible. So you just kind of discovered you discovered this love that you have for working with children and
Yeah.
serving people.
Yeah.
let's say intentionally, but by chance, kind of.
Yes, yes. It was an intentional. I see it as, for me, I see it as a responsibility for
Okay,
me. So I take it, I take full responsibility for everything I want to. So I don't care whatever, but my passion is, I've seen that this is what I'm being designed to do. And whenever I do it, the peace, the joy, the fulfillment I have is not quantifiable sometimes with cash and all that, because when if I, as I'm talking to you now and I'm creating impact, I'm going to schools and those students with a 1 hour uniform and are going back home with a new uniform, new sandals, new socks, a school bag, and you see them jumping on the street as they're going back home. So once I just see that, I just start smiling, and the only thing I'll just say, Father, thank you for the grace, because it's not easy for you to do something without grumbling. It's stressful to you, but you're not grumbling because you enjoy what you're doing. So that's it.
that's great. That's great. I, when we started this year, which we started with the theme "Open for Work," and one of the things we talked about was purpose. And purpose is one of those things that people kind of talk about. Sometimes it seems like woo woo. You know, you're not quite sure, it's blurry, or it has to be one really big, massive thing. You know, but from what you have said, you found peace and joy. You know, we started from passion, and sometimes what you're passionate about is not your purpose. It might be your purpose to support that thing, but not to actually spearhead it. But you found the peace, and I'm actually reiterating it because I'm maybe amplifying it, not definitely amplifying it, because it might help a lot of people who are talking about purpose and in life. You know, sometimes what you're passionate about. I mean, I'm passionate about music, but I know I wasn't called to be a musician. You know, I really love music, but I wasn't called to in that. I don't have any gift in that sector apart from to know what's good music and all. But that is interesting to know and to note that you have, despite somebody telling you you're confused, because for some people that could be telling you, you know, that could have killed your dream, you know.
Yeah, yeah. I can
Yeah.
remember vividly that night. It was a very terrible experience, and one of my friend that we've been friends right from NYC told me I had to download that to discourage you, and I told him, bros, you see this talk. I kept talking to anyone that wanted listening to me, because he wasn't the first person I said that to that night. I've always been speaking it, and whoever wants to listen to me will listen to me. But he was the first person that told me, I don't know what I want in life, that I'm confused. So I didn't allow that to disturb me that much, but it really challenged me. It really challenged me not to give up, because if you keep speaking, if something is in your heart and you keep speaking every time, definitely it's to come to manifest, because you're seeing it, you're dreaming about it, so it definitely to come to pass. So I kept talking about it, and in less than a month, it came out.
It came
And
out.
that year, that fashion business and the NGO today, they are working together hand in hand.
Okay.
And that
we'll
dream is real.
we'll we'll explore how that's working together hand in hand a little bit later, but tell us what's the exact focus of Atycare initiative.
Okay, for Arctic Initiative, we focus on educational resources, essential educational resources for vulnerable children in government schools precisely. We don't work with private schools, we work with government schools, because we believe if your father can send you to a private school, you should have money to support all what you need in private school. We also do economic empowerment and strengthening. That is skill acquisition for young people and women in the society. We also do gender equality, gender equality, and under gender equality we do awareness questions, sensitization, and GBV, any
Could, could,
cases
could
of
you
gender
could you could
violence.
you slow down? I'm just trying to
Sorry,
write.
ma'am.
I just stopped somewhere at empowerment.
Okay, economic empowerment and strengthening.
Okay, economic empowerment. Okay, and strengthening for women.
Yes, and youth.
Okay, okay. Sorry. I'm sorry I slowed you down, but I didn't hear you.
Oh, it's okay, ma'am.
Okay, so and then what's the other one?
Okay, what we do is gender equality.
Gender equality. Okay.
Yeah, so we talk about gender-based violence. We also do awareness questions. We handle cases on gender-based violence. And the one that is difficult for us to handle, we refer out. Medical cases, we refer out. Legal services, we refer out to other partnering organizations that deals on that services.
Okay. Okay. So how do you achieve all of this? Because how do they fit into each other? We have providing educational resources for vulnerable children in government schools. Okay, economic empowerment and strengthening for women and youth, and then gender equality, which includes gender-based violence, awareness, and handling cases. How do they fit into each other?
Okay, for educational resources, we provide these resources to these children. We have their data. So we have a form which we take the details of them, their parents, we get the phone numbers of the parents. So for the economic empowerment, now we believe if we empower one person from that household on any skill set they desire, by next year, they're not going to struggle on should we give them uniform again? Should we not give them uniform again? So we know that aspect is being settled out. So, and also for the empowerment of young people and women, that's for the educational resources and empowerment working hand in hand. Now, for also empowerment, what we do is if we are mentoring young people and women not to go into any illegal activities, so we are not just going to talk, or we're just to give back. Now we know they have time that they go out to do these things. So why don't we engage them during that period in skills? Now we're not going to force you on a skill to do. We're going to tell you what skills are you comfortable with or are you passionate about? Because if I tell you to do a skill and you're not passionate about that skill, definitely there's not going to be a result in that activity. So what we want you to do is we tell you this is the set of skills we have. Are you okay in any of this? In any of that? So the one that you go in for, we train them on that. Then for the gender-based violence, any case of rape, child labor, because a lot of children, we have a lot of street children on the streets, high level of school dropouts, because from my experience working with street children, a lot of them on the street because of poverty, no education for them, no resources for their education. So if I don't want this to keep increasing in the town, so what am I going to do? So I need to provide access to quality education for them and make them have this we're trying to also build their self-esteem because a lot of them from my own conversation with them they don't believe in themselves, they just see themselves as less because no one is taking care of them, my parents are these nonchalant, there's no resources for them, so we bring them from the street, try to see how we can send them to schools and all that.
Okay, I'm not confused. I'm just concerned. You deal
Okay.
with different. I mean, they're all interrelated, but you deal with different groups of people. You deal with vulnerable children from indigent parents, right? You deal with street children, so they don't even know what's up. I mean, we
Yes,
all come from families, but
they have this thing in slums.
they stay
So
in
like in
slums.
Calabar, yes, they stay in slums. So we have different slums. Like those in Calabar, no, we have Marian, we have Lemna, we have Bogobri. Yes, slums. So we go there, we feed them actually. Then when we feed them, we use that opportunity feeding them, try to counsel them, give them psychosocial support. Then any of amongst them who wants to go to school, we have a coalition we will also work with anyone that wants to go to school and anyone that wants to learn skill. So we report also to the coalition. We have the skill team in the coalition and we have the education team in the coalition. So for the street children that we work with, for the education, I'm also part of the education because that is what I provide. So we're also trying to see how we can get them from the street, reunify them with their parents, or those stay with their grandmothers, or those staying with the aunties, then we also have legal backing for them. Try to like if they want to send those children back to the streets or nonchalant attitude, we speak the law towards them. That's for the street
Okay.
children.
Okay. But it seems to be like quite a lot to me. And you're 4 years old right now.
No, 3 years plus.
Atycare. Okay.
3 years
So
plus.
you're before this year, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So how do you handle all of this?
Okay, for the street children, what we do is from the coalition, we go randomly to the streets. I don't belong to the whole three zones. I belong to a
Okay.
particular zone. Yes, not the whole three zones. I belong to a particular zone. Then in that particular zone, we have different leaders.
Sorry, what
In
do you
each,
mean about zones? I don't know what you mean by
yes,
zones.
that's the Bogobri zone, the Lemna.
Okay.
Yes, like
And
I
the
said,
Marian. Okay. All right.
the zone.
Okay.
So if each person has a challenge in his zone or her zone that needs a particular service, and we have different NGOs in that coalition, so we support from them. We go to visit them.
Aha. So that's a collaborative effort, kind of.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Fact.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Then
Okay,
for
I
the
understand that now. Yes.
okay. Then for the Atycare itself, our educational resources for Atycare, what we do is we go to schools, government school precisely. We don't give this what we are providing based on assumptions to to the school. We go for need assessment. That's what we call to know the particular children that need these services. So the teachers or the head teachers are not just mentioning the children they like for us. So we go to the school, we see them, we ask them questions. Most of this from there, based on our research, most parents, the children in government school are staying with their grandmothers, some are staying with their aunties that their house help, and some don't even have the real people that love. And most of them are orphans. So we pick them, we ask them, and I'm always keen more about children who are orphans and we ask for their stories, we hear their stories. And even if they have like they maybe they had a semi good uniform, but so far we hear their story and we try to make sure that this uniform I'm giving to you, we counsel them. If you take care of this uniform very, we can take in the next 2 years. So you will know that you know who you are at this moment. So you need to take care of what you've gotten. So we make sure we give them a complete set, uniform, sandals, school bag, exercise books. We make sure they have those things so that the environment will be conducive for them. Now, some of them also there's what they call vulnerable, most vulnerable, and more vulnerable. So the most vulnerable children are those ones that some may have parents, but those parents are not capable to provide for them. There are some that are orphans, but their own orphan, that senior is not a junior orphan that needs help. So we try to ask questions to know whom we are giving these services to. Now, when we pick these leaders and during the need assessment, we measure them their uniforms. We measure their legs for their sandals. So we are not just picking anyhow random that looks very bogus on them. We pick their sizes, and when we sew the uniform, we tag their names on the uniforms. I sew the uniforms myself, so we tag it on them, and we go back. We fix a particular date. So if we are going like we have another one this month, which we did need assessment last month. So before the end of this month, we are going to go to the schools to refund back to them what we did, and we also gather other children that need writing resources. Some need sandals and all that. So if we give them sandals, we also make sure we give them writing materials, also because those are very, very important to them.
Okay. I just wanted to make you laugh a little bit when you talked about sandals and then uniforms not being bogus. I remember when I was growing up, my mother bought us oversized sandals and just said, "You better not cut it for me." you know? So you just had to make it work. You just had to make it work. Maybe
Yeah.
I mean I don't know if you had that experience, but I had that
Yeah,
experience.
had experience that okay, the last school we went, the uniform we gave to the child was a bit long. And I was like, no man, can I change it with this that child? The mother said, no. I like that long one. I like that big one. So all of us started laughing because I personally knew why she wanted the long one. So the child can wait for a longer distance.
A bit longer time. Yes, yes, yes.
So
Yeah.
So that's why whenever we try to make the length a bit longer, or we only make it moderate if I know you're in primary five. So
Okay.
just like using 1 year, so there's no need to like make it very long unless I'm aware you have a younger one that if you
Yes, you
leave you
can.
want to hand over
Yeah.
to, then I can
Okay.
make it a bit long for them.
Is it primary school or secondary school students? What's your focus?
Yeah, we work with primary and secondary schools, but for
Okay.
now, we are starting somewhere, heading to a greater light. But we have a child, about two children we are sponsoring secondary school for now.
Okay.
But
Well,
we're not doing like the concentration is not as large as for the primary school, like the secondary school.
so it's like 99% on primary.
Yes, for now. Yes, for now.
Oh,
Then 1% for secondary.
okay. I have a friend who is here. Um, I'm sure she's not going to ask this question, and I promise her. Well, I told her I'll call her out, but I will not call her out. Just because I'm a nice person. I won't call her out. But let me ask this question because I know she also runs a non-for-profit.
Okay.
She decided to support children who are in secondary schools, in private schools. And it has been an issue that we have been discussing, and I asked why. Even if the private schools look like they're not so tush or they're in a not so tush part of town, I said, asked why. Why are you in private schools? There are lots of children who need other resources. What would you say to that? Because she's asking a question which I'm not going to answer you right off, put up right now. That is the question I want you to answer. Maybe she will listen to somebody who is on the field. Yeah.
Okay, for me, I practically choose public schools based on for the year 2021, we did 8 schools, and out of the 8 schools we did was all government schools. The scenarios we saw, you hardly find that in private schools. Okay, the project we did last month, January, I had a child. He's an orphan. The mom died, the dad died, and he's staying with the auntie. And the uniform I saw him with, he has been wearing that uniform right from primary one, and he's in three, primary three or
Hmm.
primary four, between those two. Now the uniform was worn out till he had to sew it in front, not behind. Now you will not find that in a private school, because in a private school, most teacher there are concerned. They are going to look and they're going to send you back home. But in the public schools, the teachers try to understand with these people that are indigent people. So some of them, their school fees is about 1,000, between 1,300 to 1,500. They are struggling to pay that. Because I can remember when we went for a last month's project, and I was talking on financial literacy on the parents. Fortunately, we had a handful of parents that came in that particular community. And we're talking about financial literacy, the ability for them to, if they can be paying 500 per month or 300 per month before the end of the first term. And definitely now they will not send them out of the school because you have tried. Why don't you try to save little money or 20 naira per day and give to these children just for their school fees? So we were talking to them on that, and you see, they weren't aware of these things. They are in the public sector, but a child in a private school, if the father cannot send him or her to school, the father will have to look for a way to pay that school fees because it's a private school. He will look for someone either to borrow or to get money for someone. But in the public sector, even with that 1,500 is a difficult amount for them to pay. So that's to show the level of their vulnerability. So for me personally, I believe, because from what I've seen, a child that is being sent to a private school, before your father should send you to a private school, your mother should send you to a private school. Their school is about um 10,000, some 10,000. Let me just use minimal 10,000 or 5,000 a term, which is that is for a whole academic session for a child in private school, a public school, and you still have change.
And you can buy uniform.
Yes.
Yeah.
So why am
Yeah.
I? So if your father can pay you a child's school fees in public school, a whole session, and you need to pay for one term without buying textbooks, without buying anything. So I don't need to stress myself. People have this perception that the children in public schools, they don't deserve the best. So for me, I believe they deserve the best.
They do.
So if they I believe that so many of our governors are high professionals and personalities across the globe. They went to a public school. Not everyone that went to a private school. So those children we are seeing now that looks irrelevant tomorrow will be relevant. So the seed I am sowing to them, I might not know them, but they will know me. So they will see me on the road. So why don't I sow a good seed I know is going to germinate very well? I'm not saying the children in private school, if you sow a seed into them, it should not germinate. No, it definitely to germinate. But I prefer public schools because people see those people in public schools as irrelevant, that they don't really have enough and all that. So that's it.
Okay. I feel your passion, and I understand much better. And I hope my friend who is here understands why she and I have been having this conversation. Now, two people have asked if you are open to partnership, Joanne and Dorothy Ipeme. What kind of partnership do you guys have in mind? If you could just type in the comments and I will amplify it. And while they're typing, I'll ask you, what has your impact footprints been so far?
Well,
Your
so
impact. Okay, the other question I wanted to ask you. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. The
okay.
other question I wanted to ask on this gender equality issue. Do you do that on your own under Atycare, or do you do it with other, like in as a coalition? Do you do it with FIDA or other groups like that?
Okay, what we do for coalition, since for the coalition, since we are a network, if they need a child that has educational support or they need psychosocial support, what we do, we provide as an organization to them. But for Atycare initiative, for our educational projects, we do partnership with companies as part of their corporate social responsibilities. So they tell us, okay, we are going to support you monthly, quarterly, or this is what we are going to give to you. What do you need? Is it educational resources and books you need? How many books do you need? We need to supply you quarterly, or we'll give you 4 times a year or 3 times a year. So we partner with other companies and some NGOs that want to partner with us that are focused on that aspect also. That's it.
Okay, somebody has joined called Gift. Is that from your side?
Gifts.
Yes. Okay. We will just, maybe it's somebody you had sent a link to. We'll just ignore. We won't bring the person off. If it's
Yes,
somebody you sent
please.
a link to, okay, we'll just ignore it and
Okay,
move on.
please just
Okay,
ignore
Joan
the
said,
please.
I will, no problem. Joan said uniform partnership. That's okay. I'm getting a feedback. Okay, I'm just checking.
I think is the person that joined still there?
Yes, I've removed the person. I think that was it. I've
Yes.
removed the person. Yeah, I've removed the person. Okay. So okay. John said uniform partnership. John, do you mean to sew uniforms for, you want to help her to sew uniforms to support her? Please just say yes or no, or if you want her to sew uniforms for you. And Dorothy, are you in Calabar or where are you? Okay, while we're waiting for John, I have so many questions. Okay, as a researcher, okay. She's a researcher. Dorothy is a researcher and a resource person, and she runs Dorothy's Consults. Dorothy, are you on IG? I like to follow everybody. I mean, we can always use a lot of support. Okay, you'd like to be a resource personnel. Okay, she's based in Calabar. Okay, you could send me a message on I'm a typing here. You can send me a message there, or Atom, do you want her to contact you directly?
Okay, my she can pass through you.
Okay, all right. So Dorothy, you can send me a message on this number, and I will link you both up. I think that would work, and I would also like to follow you. So if you could type your social media handle, that would be useful. Together we are truly more. And Joanne would like to sew uniforms. So Joanne, yes, you can also contact Atom through me, and I'll link you up. Joanne asked another question. Let me just go back a little bit. And she asked them, how do you evaluate the progress of to the children educationally? Is
Okay,
that even very important to you, or just for
yes,
them to
it's
get back to
important.
school is important?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, it's important. That's what we monitor and evaluation. So we go back to the schools to find out the education um, and progress from the teacher. So we go to the classes. So anyone we are giving, we have their database. So we go back to school, we communicate with the head teachers to ask about the welfare of those children and how they are coping. Now, that's what we are planning in our own in the organization for the children, which we call after school services. So, like, should we call a home lesson, which will be doing like twice a week for them. And that is also apart from what they're being taught in school. That's also an avenue to monitor them to know if they are really gaining the knowledge they are getting in school or what other thing don't they understand. They feel we can also be of assistance to them.
Okay. And how do you fund those extra lessons?
What we intend for that process, we've not started. We want to start in next month. We've already put our
Okay.
structures to do it next month for our children.
But how do you plan to fund them? How do you plan to fund that? Because the teachers won't, unless the teachers are volunteers.
Yes, from our volunteers, we tend to do. Then what we do for them, we give them little stipends for transport allowance because if someone
Okay.
is doing something, I love people working from their heart. So to encourage them is to give them transport allowance to just help them go there and come back.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think that's really good for us to know. There are quite a few people doing the not-for-profit work here, different types of not-for-profit, and some similar to you. And it's always good to share. And I feel that collaborations are the way for the future. That's the pathway for the future. But then I had asked a question, what is your impact footprint? Let's just take the educational resources and empowerment. How have you impacted in 3 and a little bit years? So let's just call it in 3 years. How have
Okay,
you evaluated your impact?
for the past 3 years, we've been able to provide about 2,000, yeah, 2,095 children based on from our database. Been able to empower 2005 children with essential educational resources, that's the school uniforms, writing materials, the sandals, books. We pay school fees also for those that um that is very, very important because several we've gone for need assessment and most of these children the school we went and that day we went for need assessment, 26 children were sent home that very day. We've gone for a need assessment, and I told the head teacher, please, I want to support 30 children just for the uniform. Before I could say Jack Robinson in less than 1 second, this woman brought her list. that was well typed, and it was 30.
Wow.
And she
Wow.
was like, she said in her words that she was praying for such opportunity, that it was God that brought us to them. And actually, I didn't want to. I just said, okay, no problem, ma. I told her, okay, since this is the only list you have, snap and send to me. I thought I was very, very smart because I was looking at paying 1.5 times 40, that's about 45K. I didn't have at that time, to be truthful. But because I was passionate, I was sincere about it, and I wanted to do that. And the next day, she sent the list to me. For me personally, I like the Holy Spirit to direct me. That is me. It's my own opinion personally. So I create stories, and sometimes whenever I create these stories, the day I'm being led, I'll just post it. So that fateful day, I created a post on Friday evening. I was led to post that and to create that post, and I posted it on Saturday. So till today, I didn't have up to 12 like on that particular post. And the next morning, an old school friend sent me a message, Ababe, how far has they, how many children are left? And I told her none. They've not paid for anyone. And she just told me, okay, she saw the organization account. She said for the whole 30 children for the school fees. So for me, it was a big lesson to me also that whatever you're doing, so far in as much as a passion, a purpose
Lesson
you're
in
doing.
obedience. Yeah.
Yes, so it's to follow the pathway of God and allow God to direct your path and always listen to Him. So because I've seen it in different ways. That's why I said it's my own opinion because I've seen it work for me in different ways. So I always put God, the Holy Spirit, whenever I want to do my projects.
You're getting emotional about it, eh? It's my path as well. Or without any apology, it's my path. Yes, it's my path. Yeah. So we've talked about money quite a bit. I didn't want to get there so quickly, but we've talked about money. And you can't run a business, not for profit or for profit, without money. So how do you fundraise? How do you support these different projects apart from the ones you do in the coalition? How do you support these projects financially apart
Okay.
from friends who support?
Okay. I come to social media. I use social media as my space. My Instagram, my LinkedIn, my Facebook page. So I'm being intentional about it, very intentional about it. So whatever post I create for the organization page, I make sure I post it also on my own personal page. Why? I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud to touch people's life. I'm proud to put smiles on people's face. So people see, some see, don't respond, but they come to support. So for now, I use my friends. We've not yet gotten grants, and we have a company that part of their corporate social responsibility is a tech company, Nugi Tech. They support us to do our project. So that's what we've done so far.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about your vision, where you see Atycare in another 3 years, because that links back to corporate governance and fundraising for you to be a sustainable business. Social media, after a while, you and I had a conversation. After a while, people kind of, they don't- it's not that people are fickle, but everybody's dealing with something. So we might just get tired and just say, I gave her 100,000 last year. That won't try. I don't try. So it's like you've soothed your conscience and you've moved on. What are you structured to move beyond social media, the goodwill of social media? I mean,
Yeah.
are you structured in such a way
Yes.
that you can have people who are friends of Atycare initiative and
Yeah.
companies who can continually be there to support you and position you to do grants, to take grants? Yes.
Yes. We as an organization, we are legally registered with CAC.
Okay.
We have our own corporate account. We have board of trustees that work with us. And we also have a team of volunteers that work with us. And we have about two staff that work with us. So we have volunteers, we have two staff that work with us. Um, the way we structure, the way we are seen, because not me alone. I have board members, I have volunteers. The way we see the organization, in the next 5 years, we want to empower nothing less than 10,000 children. In the next 3 years, nothing less than 10,000 children, because for 2022, we are seeing 5,000 children. So by 2020, by in the next 3 years, we are looking at 10,000 children to empower with access to quality education. Access to quality education. That's what we want.
I'm going to challenge you on that and ask you if you are structured to receive grants to help you, because this is one of the SDGs, right? Sustainable
Yes,
Development Goals, right?
yes,
If you're
yes, ma'am.
structured to receive grants from grant making foundations or organizations, can you not do exponentially more than 10K children in 3 years?
We can. We can. It's possible. Very possible. Very, very possible. I'm looking at. I don't want to make it too large because
Why? Why
uh,
not? It's a vision. Why is it going to be small?
yes, the vision I'm
You
looking
didn't
at.
have, you know.
I'm looking at the situation as an organization in the next, as in 5 to 10 years, we've gone the whole 36 states. So we are not only limited for Cross River State. So we are starting from Cross River State, we are heading somewhere, and we are growing globally. So we are looking at touching the whole 36 states of Nigeria, because a lot of children, for me, we've not even started. For me, Atim, we've not started because there are a lot of hard to reach communities. There are a lot of hard to reach communities. The one we went at Akamakam last month, and my team were asking me, Atim, how did you get this school? I said, this is the kind of school I'm even looking for, because you're not comfortable. If you're going there, you are scared of how you're going to come back. So a vehicle has to wait for you if you're going to that community. So I don't need a community.
Is
I don't
that a
need like,
riverine community?
no, it's not a riverine community. It's not a community it's a community that if you're going to go into that community, you need to have a vehicle. You hardly find bikes. So most of them in that community they're trekking. So that's their
Okay,
own
so it's a
means of.
remote.
Yes, it's a remote community. So those are the kind of communities with I want us to go, because the town a lot of people are going, but those kind of places they hardly find such opportunities. So when they see it, from my own experience, they value it so much. They value it so much because people hardly come to meet them. I can remember when I was finishing, one of the parent ranch was waiting for me on the road with pineapple. For me, people seeing, for me, that pineapple is not because of the pineapple, but for me, it meant she valued what she really appreciated what we did. For me, it was small, but that little thing she gave to me that looks little, it meant so much for me. It was a source of motivation. That's another avenue for motivation for me. It encourages me, okay, if you ever wanted to give up because maybe you don't have enough resources to do larger than what you want to do, just need to keep pushing. Someone appreciates. So if one person should appreciate you, well, in the next 10 years, you can imagine how many people will appreciate. I entered a bus, I did not even know a parent. The woman said, she was greeting. I was like, I don't understand. I greeted her very well, very nicely. I was like, no, oh, sorry, ma, please. Oh, I don't know. She said, you just came to my school. Now you get my, I was so happy. I don't know her. So I just told myself psychologically, Atom, prepare yourself. That is what you see because you're doing good for people.
Okay. Okay. I I'm still getting this feedback. I don't know why. I think it's okay now. Yeah. So let me check because I'm just getting all this feedback and I don't know where it's coming from. Is it still there? Can you check your own equipment? It seems to be okay
Okay,
now.
what? No, for me, I had to reduce my volume, so I'm only
Okay.
focused only on one side, not the volume from the two sides.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Okay. So maybe another challenge I'll throw your way, because sometimes we spread ourselves thin, because you have that heart, that tender heart, and you want to impact as many children as possible. I mean, if you dig in horizontally and vertically in Cross River State alone, even just Cross River State, that is so much. And you track these children. I'm just suggesting you track these children and see what has happened to their lives, and maybe scale up to secondary school, because it gets a bit more expensive in secondary school. You know,
Yeah, it's
it's very
expensive in secondary school. Secondary school, we did our own inquiries for secondary school because we have a child that just came up. We needed to support, and it's about 17,700 naira. Yeah, 17,700 naira for new enrollment. That's exclusive of textbook, uniforms, other writing materials needed. So they need to do the registration. So for us, since we've not yet gotten grant yet, so we're trying to, so we won't be thrown off balance in what we're doing. But we are aiming for that international scale.
because it's also very important where you are is the foundation, and if they have access to good education, and their parents, like you said earlier, if somebody is empowered within the family, it means that next time you don't have to go through that entire process. It's
Yeah.
it's it's one less child, or 10 less children, or 20 less children. You can go back to other children, you know. And the other thing I also wanted to ask you, you said that there's some children that are orphans, and I guess there might, some of them might be serving as house helps somewhere.
Yeah.
How do you deal those? Which have been your greatest challenges? Which are those cases that break your heart and you wish you could really do more?
And the one I had last month, the boy is an orphan, and it was during the need assessment. Actually, as a social worker, we are not meant to cry because while we are having a case with a child, or anybody, you're trying to tell them there's no hope for you once you just shed tears with them. So I asked him during the need assessment. I was just let to ask him the question, not that I. It's not. Ask him, how about your mom? Why are you with this kind of uniform? Because his uniform was very, amongst all the children, his was the worst. So why are you with this uniform? And I asked him, how about your mom? And he said the mom is late. And I asked him, how about your dad? He started crying. He now said the mom is late. Then when I asked him, for me at that moment, since I know the orphans and he was crying, so I asked, do you have other siblings? Automatically, those siblings of theirs will be in my scheme because those are the children I need. So immediately I asked him, how about your siblings? He started crying again more. So now when the parent died, they were all separated. So the other ones were sent to be with maid, as a maid to people. So during the main the project, as I entered the school, I asked for the boy. I gave him my number to call me, but unfortunately they couldn't get access to me that Christmas period. So when I went to school, I looked for him, and I was told he went for holiday, and I said I need to see the auntie he's staying with. And thank God for the good community members, they had to send for the auntie immediately. And she came, and I spoke with her. I asked her several things, and it's she also confirmed that what the boy said about the parents, they were true. The siblings are staying with different people, and she mentioned the locality where they stay. So for me, it meant trust. So it gave me that assurance. Okay, I can trust him with the information he gave to me. I didn't want to doubt him or anything what he was giving to me. So I now said, okay, no problem. Get my number, and I kept talking to them. And my chairman's birthday was this last month, and I made sure he was among the people that was school fees was being paid for the whole academic session. So I tried to down my those kind of people are my priorities. People that they don't have people, or they have people but they're intelligent and they are limited to certain things. So I try to see how I can talk to some friends. If you have, okay, 1,000 naira, we just add to see how we can source to just, because I don't want to say situation a child is being sent home. I'm tired of being seeing street children in the streets. I'm tired because for me personally, they will affect my children tomorrow. I might try to give my children the best upbringing, but just one mistake will just send the child out. And you don't know that day, that moment, who he or she will meet on the road. So if I train, be able to mold these children at this tender age to have access to education, definitely now the world will be a better place. The rate of crimes, criminals, prostitution will reduce in the society. So that's the
Yeah.
kind of community I want to see. I don't want to see it's too much. You are giving them names, slogan, and Colombo and all those things. So it's annoying. So sometimes me when I see them, I'm not jovial with them. I'm being blunt with them,
You're on a
very blunt
mission,
with
huh?
them. Yes, so I'm blunt with them. And when I'm blunt with them, when I give them that piece of my words at that moment, when I'm done, I switch back to playing mood with them. But I know I have given them what I needed to give them.
Very. Thank you, thank you. We're, I told you that time always flies, and it always seems like when we start, it's going to drag on, but it never drags on. So I'm just going to give our audience, I mean, thank you. You guys have been really engaging. Is there any other question you have? Is there any comments you'd have? Any clarification you have? Because I do have questions. Please type in the comment section if you do have any questions. Atom, I would like to ask you my penultimate question. Has being in Calabar been any disadvantage to you?
Yeah, it has been no. I was born and brought up in Calabar, and I've always wanted to relocate to have another outside. But unfortunately, whenever I try to, I'll just hear Atycare initiative. So I'll just drag back a bit. But I know that with time, definitely next in 1 to 2 years, I'll leave. By then, by God's grace, we'll be more stronger than where we are now. So I can leave and we'll have another place also.
Okay. But you won't leave your children, the children in of Attica, right?
No, 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 no. No, I can't. How can I survive? So that's why you're trying to build structure in our team, our volunteer team, so that if I'm not around, because other people things are working.
Okay. Okay. That's great. Okay, we have a question from Joan. She says, how are the board members participating in your passion, or I guess supporting your passion? How
Yes,
are the board members? Yeah.
they're
How are
supporting
they?
our okay, they are supporting our passion, the passion financially. They're also supporting technically. So they're giving us technical advice, support in trying to see how we can get some support somewhere and all. But financially, they're also supporting our project and also the advertising our organization. So because like what is happening now, if people are interested, definitely they want to share and join what you're doing. So they do that for us.
Do you have that anything on your how would I call it? Anything on your your IG page that says if you want to share, if you want to donate, is there anywhere we can just
Yes,
in case people want to?
yes. On Attica Initiative page on IG, we have a link attached to it. Now, if you click on the LinkedIn and Linktree page, you will find about us. If you want to sponsor a child, there's a form for it. So you choose the kind of sponsorship you want to be part. If you want to just send, I just want to send a just one way donation. There's also a link where you can find account details. You can just send that to us. And if you want to volunteer for us, there's also a link on that page which you can also go through. But you can also send us a link. But there's a link on an organization page and also my own personal page also. Yeah, you see it there also.
So we have Atim and Atycare. Okay. Okay. So four things that you would questions or comments or whatever you would talk to people who are starting or mean to start not for profits. What would
Okay,
you tell them based on your experience?
okay. Based on my experience, first I'll say
Yes.
whatever you want to do, discover your strength. Know your strength. Because if you know your strength, that is what will help you. And have a skill set. If I couldn't sew this uniform myself and I was depending on people, and I was also depending on until we have complete money before we can do a project, I bet this success story or what people are saying won't be a reality because the huge bulk is usually in the school uniform. So as a fashion designer, that is where I have a huge strength because I know I'm giving out. So whenever I have this belief, whenever I can get the fabrics and I start sewing, other things will come in. I
Okay.
don't know how it's coming, but I'm always
Whatever three things?
then
Sorry,
also
we are at the top of the hour,
and
so
also as someone that is there, you have to be focused on what you want to do. This be focus, know your skill, discover your purpose, and another thing, most importantly, allow God to lead you.
okay, okay. All right. Thank you very, very much. Guys, I had told that at the top of the, when we started that we'll talk about the how her fashion business feeds the not for profit. Yes, it does. We didn't have, so can you just in can you do it in 1 minute? You know.
How the fashion, please can you repeat the question, please? Sorry.
How does your fashion business support your not for profit business?
Okay, for now, how it supports it is we sew.
Yeah.
So don't I'm not charging for now because we don't have that kind of bulky resources. So now how it's supporting is what we only request for the NGO is just buy us fabric, buy us the thread, buy us everything that's needed. So the workmanship is zero. So we're not
Okay.
charging. So
Who buys the fabric?
the NGO buys the fabric.
Okay, okay. And then you
NGO buys
sew.
the fabric. Yes, I
Okay,
sew the fashion sews. For now, we're not charging them for it. So we're just giving a pro bono for it. And
okay, okay. All right. I have a quick question here. I don't know why these questions are coming to the end. So, have you had to deal with a child that says he wants to go to school but really doesn't have the brains for studies?
okay, that is where the psychosocial support comes in. So you don't just jump into it to say you need to know why he doesn't have the brain for the education. Is there anything at home? What is disturbing him or her? Is there any case of abuse? Because a case of abuse can just lead to that. So there are different kinds of abuse, child labor, rape, and all that. So we need to know the root cause of why his or her brain doesn't want to study. Then, if that works and we're able to detect it, then we know the kind of counseling we need to give. Either because we can't force you. I know you're a child, so we need to meet your family to know the problem also. This is what the child has been is passing through. What can you say? If they also cannot give a valuable result of what we need, you need to know also if the environment is not conducive for the child. After school, the child goes to school and comes back. What happens to the child? Does the child have access to it? Does the child have time to read or goes to farm always? So if a child every time goes to farm, no time to read and comes back and tired, that child, the brain is not functioning, will not function. So we need to know. And that's when the counseling comes in for the parent or the caregiver that is staying with the child. Then from there we know how to follow up. If the
So
child
that's
will
the
need to learn his
social,
key.
the
Yes. Or
psychosocial. So you dig
yeah.
deeper. You don't just throw
Yes.
money at it. You dig deeper.
No,
Okay.
no,
Well,
no.
for more questions, you can post questions here, and I'll make sure that Atim gets to see them, or you can send them to me directly. But thank you so much for being such an engaging um, audience today. Thank you for following us on Unplugged. I really appreciate it. And I will shut down on IG right now. Thank you very much, IG people. And thank you very much, people on Facebook. Thank you, Atom, for everything that you've done. Thank you for sharing your heart, your passion, your initiatives with us. And we just hope that, well, when you have things to share, let us know. We will share here. It's one Nigeria, it's one world. Technology has made the world much smaller, so we may be able to help you share. We will share. That's what we do. We amplify at Julia Jack's Consulting. Thank you and keep doing the great work you're doing.
Thank you, Ma. I'm so grateful. You look so beautiful today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you,
Welcome, Ma.
everybody, for joining. We shall be leaving you now until next week when we talk to another person from a not for profit. And this time is actually talking about street children. So you might want to join in.
Wow.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Using a different angle. So you might want to join in. Take care,
Wow.
everybody, and bye. Atom, talk to you later. Bye
Bye.
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 Bye.